welcome to wrestling class. Okay, I see some familiar faces in here. I see some kids that have wrestled for a little while. I see some kids that just started. So first off, I think we're all really lucky to be wrestlers and to be on this mat right now. This is the best sport in the entire world, hands down. Okay, it's the oldest sport in the world. It's the toughest sport in the world. And, I just love it, okay? So I'm excited to be here on this beginner's class. We got to talk about a few things here, okay? I kind of say that these 3 rules here are kind of the rules and the things that you need to do in order to be a really good wrestler and to be able to wrestle a long time. Like not just 2 years, but maybe 10 years, maybe 15 years, maybe even 20 years you could wrestle if you can do these 3 things. 3 important things, and I really think that these 3 things are not only for wrestling, but also for your everyday life, also at school, when you're at home, okay, all those different things. So without further ado, let's talk about these 3 things that you got to do, the 3 rules of being a wrestler. Who thinks they know one of them? You think you know one of them, my man? What is one of them?
Have fun.
You got to have fun. Absolutely. I think that, to be honest with you, I see some kids that they start wrestling and then they end up quitting because it wasn't fun anymore. Okay, so that's kind of what will happen. If you stop having fun, you might not like wrestling anymore. It's so important to have fun and love what you do. And I really think that's the same, even when you get older and you pick what you want to be, whether you want to be a fireman or a policeman, or if you want to be a businessman or a doctor. You got to have a passion. You got to love what you do, and you'll be successful at it because you love it. Okay, I love wrestling, guys. It's fun. Okay, and that's the reason why I've been doing it for about 30 years, long time, ever since I was in 3rd grade. And and I fell in love with it right away, and I think I've always loved it, and that's why I've been able to do it so long. So, that's what's going to make you want to work hard. Okay, who was excited to come here today to wrestling class? Who was excited? Exactly. Yeah. Right. And that means it's like you love wrestling. You're gonna go to the practices. You'll be willing to do the work because you love it. Okay, but you know what? If you're kicking and you're screaming and you're crying because mom and dad or whoever said it's time to go to wrestling practice, you're probably not going to make it too long because you're going to be like, this just isn't fun anymore. Okay, so rule number 1: smile, have fun, love wrestling. Okay, don't cry, don't whine. I think that's my favorite rule. Okay. All right, next one. Who thinks they know another one? Yes, sir.
Pay attention.
Yes, pay attention. Okay, pay attention. And how you pay attention, okay, is by listening and by watching. So if I see everybody's eyes right now, I see Leo's eyes. He's paying attention. Okay, for me, I can tell right away if somebody's not paying attention. They're like over in the corner, picking their nose, or they're like looking around. They're not paying attention. And guess what happens if you don't pay attention? In school you might get in trouble. The teacher might yell at you. But in wrestling, when you don't get paying attention, somebody slams you and chokes you and pins you. It's not any fun. Okay? If you don't pay attention, you're not going to learn moves. You have to always be paying attention. Oh, no matter how long you've been wrestling. Okay? Look at our 2 guys. Look at our 2 big boys over here. Big boys, raise your hand real quick. Mason and Brandon. Guys, they've been wrestling for a really, really long time. Mason's been wrestling probably since he's been 5. He's a world champion now. Okay, he's going for the Olympics. I mean, how much do you still got to pay attention?
Every time.
Every time. We were just, him and I and Brandon, we were just doing a film class right before this, paying attention and watching moves because they need to learn. That's why they're still getting better. So if you want to be great in this sport, pay attention to your coaches. Okay, pay attention to your parents. Pay attention to the moves that you're learning. Maybe write them down in a notebook. Okay, if you can do that, okay, you're going to be a wrestler. And you have to do that this class. Because if I'm teaching and you're talking, guess what? You're going to have to go sit down. So I think we can all pay attention, right? Z, can you pay attention? He's locked in right now. I love it. Locked in, you're paying attention, buddy. All right, that brings us to the 3rd and final rule of being a champion wrestler. And who thinks they know what it is? Yes. Uh-oh. You want to take a guess at it? Take a guess. Cat got your tongue. I know, it happens to me sometimes. You already answered it once. You. Dang it. You. hardest rule. This is the hardest sport you ever do. This is the toughest thing you ever do in your life. Wrestling is hard. I am not going to lie to you. I'm not going to say, hey, this will be the hardest thing you'll ever do. It's tough. Tough, tough, tough. Okay, look at Tom's eye back there. You see his eye? Black eye, red. Got poked the other day. No big deal. It happens sometimes. Like all the time in wrestling. Look at Brandon. He's got one, a little one. Not as good as Tom's. He wish it would be. Okay, but he's got a little one. Mason gave him a little one the other day. This is a tough sport. You are going to collide. You're going to hit heads. You're going to fall down. You're going to get hurt. Okay, but it's okay. There's a difference between getting hurt and getting injured, right? You're going to get hurt a lot in wrestling. Ow, oh, that hurt. You know what? Get mad at it, rub it, and quit whining. Get back out there. That's wrestling, okay? It's tough. That's why the toughest people in the world are wrestlers. Did you know that? The toughest. So if you can say that you wrestle, that's pretty awesome. That means you're one of the toughest kids in the world, okay? Those are the 3 rules of wrestling, okay? I think that if you guys can kind of follow those rules, we'll go back to kind of Mason over here. Mason, you've been wrestling since 5 years old? 4 years old, okay? So he's been wrestling since he's been 4 years old, okay? He's at Michigan now, okay? Top ranked in the country and in the world. Would you say that have you been doing those 3 things your whole career?
Absolutely.
Just, you still love wrestling, right? You're still, tough, working hard all the time, and you're paying attention. So it never really ends. Whether you're brand new like Z or whether you're like Mason, keep those 3 rules, and I promise you'll have a long, healthy wrestling career. Does that make sense, everybody? You guys ready to roll now?
Yeah.
All right, let's get after it. On 2, loud and proud. 1, 2, take off jogging, let's go. Good job, guys.